Okay, this is for Arabesque. This video is for Arabesque by Friedrich Burgmüller. Okay, uh, you will find when you're taking piano lessons that there are certain composers that you really like, and they'll become your favorites. Um, I really do like most of Bergmüller's songs. He is one of my favorite composers. I think his songs are fun. A lot of them are fast, and they're just fun to play. And he's got a lot of different things in it. He's got some staccatos here and there. I like playing it. It's kind of an exciting piece. It has a lot of dynamics in it. If you look at your time signature, we're only counting to 2 in every measure. And this piece, when the right hand comes in, it starts with what kind of notes are those that it starts with? If you said 16th notes, you are correct, okay? And the question is, do you know how to count 16th notes? Okay, 16th notes would be 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 4 of them equal 1 beat, okay? So it's the right hand has the melody in the beginning. It starts with 16th notes. When you get to the B section, the left hand has the melody and the left hand has the 16th notes. This is a really fun piece. I actually played it out of this book when I was in, taking piano lessons. I don't remember what grade I was in, but I played this song. When you start learning this, skip the first 2 measures with the left hand by itself because it's a little tricky to do that and then come in with both. We usually start on measure 3. When you know the whole song, we add the easy part, the 2 measures in the beginning, but we'll start with measure 3. Okay, first thing you want to do before we even play anything is let's get our chord changes down. Okay, so the left hand starts with an A minor chord. If you look at your notes, A, skip and skip. Now look ahead and line 2 is where the chord changes. Notice the A or your pinky stays the same, but the other 2 notes move up. So play that chord. The next measure, they go back to the A chord. Now, if I look and see how this moves, oh, look at this pattern. The top 2 notes stay the same, but my pinky goes down 1. Okay? Every time we change our chord, some of the notes stay the same. So the last chord change we have, the pinky stays the same. Okay, so your G is going to stay on the bottom, B is in the middle, and then whoa, look at that ledger line. Ledger line are little lines written above or below the staff. You'll have to count up from the middle C line to figure out what in the world that ledger line is. So go ahead and count up and see what you come up with. Anything? I came up with F. So if you came up with F, you are correct. Okay, and it's a high F. That's a big jump on your hand. So there goes that chord. And then in the first ending, some people look at me and tell me those are 2 C's. They're not 2 C's. One of them is a C, okay, with a special line, and the other one is a skip above that. E, and you play them together, and it's going to be fingers 1 and 2. If you don't have fingers 1 and 2 written at first ending on the left hand, then go ahead and take a pencil and write in fingers 1 and 2. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is you can turn the video off if you need to practice your chord changes. If you're good on the chords and you're ready to play them with me, then here we go. If not, turn it off and practice them, turn the video back on, and we'll play it together. All right, so here we go with the chords in the left hand. We're going to start on measure 3. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Move your pinky. E. Okay, the last note is an E with a thumb, and if you look carefully, there's a line underneath the bass clef. That means pedal. So you're supposed to be pressing your pedal on that last line. Okay, now, or on that last one. So now we're going, if you got that and you had no problem whatsoever and you used all the right fingering, there's a catch because a lot of people get the chords but they don't use the right fingering, okay? So if you got all the fingering on that, we're going to go ahead and try hands together. Now, before we do this, you need to practice the right hand by yourself, okay? And I think most people that are playing this song have already done the right hand, but so if you need to turn the video off and practice your right hand, go ahead and do that. Remember, this is not a beginner piece. Your hand will move, and you will have to pick it up and move it to where it goes, okay? So here we go, starting on measure 3. 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, and at the end on those E's, you have S, F, Z. What does that mean? That's sforzando. Surprise! So it's supposed to be really big there. I didn't really make it all that big. So when we play it again, I'll make sure I play that loudly. Okay? We also had, if we look at the beginning, because we didn't start at the beginning, it says P for piano. So it starts off soft. And then on line 2, you've got a crescendo getting a little bit louder. And the biggest part of it is at the end of the first ending, then it repeats, okay? So if you need to turn it off and practice, you can. If you're ready to play with me, I'm going to play the first page with the first ending and the repeat, back to the repeat sign, and then to second ending, okay? Here we go from the very beginning. 1, 2, play soft. Louder. Accent. Back to soft. Second ending. C ends on a C. Okay, now the one thing that we didn't talk about that I said right in the middle of playing, if you hadn't noticed it, at the end of line 2 in the right hand, you have a crazy little thing. Well, it looks kind of like this. Above the D, that's an accent, okay? So it's a little bit louder. It's like the sforzando, but not as shocking, okay? Now, you can turn the video off, or just rewind it and keep playing along with me till you can keep up. If you need extra practice, turn it off. Play it how old you are. Also, divide it up. Don't try to play the whole thing if you're having trouble keeping up with me. Play 2 measures or 4 measures, however old you are. If you're 14 years old, play the first 4 measures 14 times, okay? Then I would suggest doing the second 4 measures, because this is an 8 measure section, this A section. So when you're ready, you can proceed with the video, and we're going to go faster. And here comes the fun part. Here we go. From the very beginning. 1, 2, ready, play. Now, that sounded pretty cool. So, if yours is sloppy, one thing to be careful of is the 16th notes being even. Sometimes the 4th finger doesn't want to move. It's weak, and it goes, you know, and it's kind of uneven or sloppy. So you have to practice slow for quite a while and gradually speed up a little bit at a time. If you have a metronome, you can set it very low and just move it up 2 beats every time you master it. If you just move it up 2 beats, you're hardly going to notice any change, and pretty soon you'll be super fast, and you'll be like, wow, I'm already that fast. If you don't have a metronome, there is a metronome app for the phone. I believe it is free, as far as I know, and you could get that on your phone too. So that's a cool section. We're going to move on. The next section is the B section. Now the 16th notes move to the left hand. So take a look at your B section right now. It's right after the second ending. All right. So in the B section, the left hand starts with what letter? It has a sharp in front of it. Let's find the letter first, then we'll find it with the sharp. All cows eat grass. It's a G, and it should have a 3 written under it. If not, take your pencil and write 3 underneath the G. Put your third finger on G. Okay, now the next thing we're going to notice is that there's a sharp in front of that G. So you're going to need to go what? Do sharps go up or down? Let's see, I have to plug in my phone. Sorry about that, I was about to die. So it's got a sharp, and sharps go up. All right? Let's see if we can get this to work with the charger. There we go. I've been making a lot of videos so we can do our online things, and it's just zapped my phone. All right, so sharps go up. So there's your G. It's going to be G sharp. Go ahead and play G sharp and make sure you have it, okay? So let's go like this. Well, it doesn't want to stay. Okay, there we go. All right, so G sharp. So here's our B section, and it just walks up and walks back down. The last note of those has a staccato, and also there's no sharp in front of it. However, it's also a G, so we're going to have to keep it sharp, because remember, a sharp stays that way even if it's not written. If it's in the same measure, it's going to stay that way, okay? So it'll go like that, okay? So it starts with G sharp, and then when you play that staccato note, you're going to bounce up to the next note. So, and then bounce into place. My next note is an A, okay? Is your pinky on A? Did you bounce your pinky to A? All right, so let's try this whole B section. Now, if you need to stop and practice it, you can go ahead and turn the video back on when you're ready. 1, 2, play, slow. And C sharp, D, thumb. That's where we're going to stop. It gets a little tricky after that. So did you notice at the end of the line where we just stopped, there's a treble clef? When you look on page 2, line 1, measure 3, it starts with C sharp. And then it looks like it goes down, but it doesn't, because it's a treble clef. It actually goes up 1 higher to D. So let's practice those two measures. Measures 3 and 4 on line 1 of page 2. Ready? Play now. Move. And also remember, it says thumb on that very last note. So you play the A with a thumb, then you move your thumb down to G. Okay? Now we're going to start where that treble clef is, where the last measure of line 1 on page 2. Because it's not really that tricky, but I remember when I played this song, I thought it was tricky, but once you get it, it's not. So we're going to start with the D. Ready? Play now. Thumb down 1, go down 1, down 1, down. Now we got D sharp, and then it's just an E, but you got to squish your thumb on there. E, regular D, because it's a natural. And it also says retard above that, which means to get slower. So lucky for us, we can get slower on that part. I didn't play it in time at the moment because I was talking to you while I was playing. So I'm reminding you that you will have to put your thumb, in a certain spot. Always double check your fingering. When you practice, don't try to practice quickly. You want to practice and be thoughtful, because if you're paying attention to details and really thinking about what you're doing, you will learn your piece way faster. And also, if you divide it up into little sections, you will also learn it faster. So I'm going to go ahead and play the whole B section left hand. If you're ready, you can play with me. If you need to stop the video to practice it, go ahead and do that. Turn it back on when you're ready. You can pause the video. All right, so here's the B section. 1, 2, ready, play. Now, if you didn't get that, go ahead and rewind, play it with me again. I'm going to play both hands together. So when you're ready, we're going to play it together at the same time. You're going to need to practice the right hand by yourself a few times before we play together, okay? The right hand on page 2, if we look at measure 3, please don't tell me that's a C because you see a line through it. That's a ledger line. What note is that in the right hand on measure 3, page 2, line 1? It's an A, okay? Way up here. It's actually an octave jump because the note before that is a lower A, so it's just an octave. Okay? So here we go with both hands. 1, 2, ready, play. Jump to A. Oh, let's do that again. Okay, so even I made a mistake on that when I was playing it. So I forgot that you were going to have a crossover in the right hand. So maybe we should go over the right hand together. Let's start at the B section. So it starts with E. That's going to be your pinky. Okay, so we're going to do right hand B section. E, B, C, A, E, B, C, A. Jump to your high A. Okay, now here comes the trick, okay? Look and see what finger that says. There's a finger number under the next note, the E. It's a 5. Now when you get here, you've got to cross over to this G sharp and then reach your pinky to E, okay? You have to reach up there. So there's your crossover, all right? Now, you can practice that. Let's do it together. 1 and 2 and 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 move your pinky and 1 and 2 and slowing down. Okay, once you can play that with me and keep up, you can try doing both hands with me. All right, here we go. B section, both hands. 1 and 2 and. Did you keep up? Okay, let's try it again. I'll go way slower if you need to. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Soft. Get louder. Shift your hands. Cross over, slow down. And lucky for us, it goes back like the A section. However, it's called A with a variation. So it's like the beginning, but there's a few little things that are a teensy bit different, okay? So now, when you go to the next section, there's a first ending. It repeats. See where the repeat sign goes? It goes all the way back to the B section. Play it again, go to the second ending. And then there's another ending. It's pretty easy. So go ahead and turn the video off and practice it. When you're ready, you can press play again or pause the video so you don't have to start all the way over. You can start again, and I'm going to play the whole song with you, and you can see if you can keep up with me, okay? All right, here we go. The whole song of Arabesque. 1 and 2 and. Get louder. accent. Soft. On tempo, back to the original speed. Back to the repeat. Second ending. Pedal. And that last one you can hold as long as you want because, of course, there's a fermata written above it. Now, if you kept up with that, you did all the right fingers, and you played the louds and softs, and you did the retard, and you did the pedal, and everything else, and the crescendos. I mean, there's a lot going on in this song to make it interesting. If you kept up with that, you can try playing it fast. I'm going to play it fast, and you can try to play along with me. If you need to, you can keep rewinding the video until you get play along with me over and over, or you can pause the video and just keep playing it over and over, however old you are, okay? Remember, at this point, you should have already practiced individual sections or individual lines. Now we're to the point where we're trying to play the piece as a whole all the way through. But that still doesn't mean we don't need to practice it. We still might need to play it over and over. You can play a game with yourself. I used to do this when I would take lessons. Okay, I played Arabesque. Oh, and I'm playing it. I made a mistake, but I keep going. Oh, I made another mistake. By the time I got to the end, okay, let's say I made 5 mistakes. Okay, so now I'm going to play it again, and my goal is 4 or less, okay? And I try to keep playing that game with myself until I get to 0 mistakes, and then I stop practicing, okay? So it's not really however many times. I'm just going, okay, I made 5 mistakes. My goal is 4. Hey, maybe I play it again. Ooh, I did it. I only made 4 mistakes. Okay, now my goal is 3, okay, because I'm trying to get down to 0. Oh, man, I made 5 mistakes again. Okay, so now I'm going to do it again, and my goal is back to beating my 5, trying to get back to 4 mistakes, okay? So you want to keep doing that and playing it over and over and over because we want to get to 0 mistakes and play it at a performance level. Remember, performance and practice are 2 different things. Practice is something you do over and over and over and over, okay? If you go, my son Adam goes to baseball practice. He already knows how to pitch. He already knows how to play. He's been playing for 10 years, but he still practices. And just because you know how, you think, oh, I know how to read my notes, I can kind of play it. Practice is a something that you really need to be committed to, and it teaches you discipline because it's making you do something over and over and over to achieve what you want to achieve. And our goal is to play very well, right? So if you need to play again with me, rewind the video. If you need to put a pause and practice it yourself, go ahead and do that. When you're ready, we got one more thing to do. When you're ready, turn the video back on, and we're going to play it fast, all right? All right. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Everybody loves that song.